Good morning, first graders. So today we're going to be reading a nonfiction book that we're going to pair with our story of the week. Remember, our story of the week is Nerdy Birdie. And so if you remember from yesterday, Nerdy Birdie was a bird that felt like he didn't belong with some of the other birds because they were better at certain things that he was not. For example, the eagle was really strong and was a good flyer, and the robin had was really good at hunting worms, and then the cardinal was just had these beautiful feathers, and so he was really pretty, and Birdie was just different. So we're going to read a nonfiction book that's going to give us some facts about some of these birds. Well, today we're going to read about eagles, and eagles are fascinating birds. So I want you to listen to some of the facts that we're going to learn, okay? So our title of our nonfiction book is Fly High, Eagles. You can tell it's a nonfiction book because we've got a table of contents. Remember, when we see this table of contents, it's going to help us know where certain information is in the book. So if I can't read through the whole book, or I read over the book and forget something, I might be able to find it really quick from the table of contents. So on page one, we're going to read an introduction into the book. On page 2, we're going to have a diagram of an eagle. And remember, a diagram is another word for picture. So if I see a diagram of something, it's going to tell me the picture and probably label some of the parts of the eagle for me. Number 3 is the nest. Number 4, on page 4, we're going to learn about flight. Page 5, we're going to learn about eating habits. Page 6, we're going to learn about symbols because the eagle is actually a symbol for the United States. And page 7 is going to be our glossary. And remember, our glossary is that tool at the back of the book that we might see some bolded words. Remember, that means that they're really dark. That if we don't know what that word means, we can flip all the way back to the glossary and we can figure it out so that we can comprehend and know what's going on in the story. So our introduction. The bald eagle isn't bald at all. His head is covered in white feathers. The rest of his body is covered mostly in broad brown feathers. Bald eagles are raptors. This means that they hunt for food and are very skilled at doing so. If there is a large amount of food, eagles will gather in groups, but they usually stay in pairs. So we can see that bolded print tells us pairs. So if I flip back to the glossary, I'll learn that pairs means that they hunt in two together. Bald eagles can be found only in North America. They like to live near water and perch up high in trees. And perch means that that's where they sit up in trees. Oh, here's that diagram of an eagle. And as you can see, we have some labeling. So you can see it's pointing to the different parts and telling us about them. So right here it says it has a sharp beak to tear apart its food. It has great eyesight to spot prey because it can spot prey all the way up in the air. It has white tail feathers. It has sharp talons to catch prey, and then its wingspan can be up to 7.5 feet long. The nest. Bald eagles mate for life. A newly hatched baby eagle is called an eaglet. It is also the same weight as a tennis ball. Eaglets have fluffy feathers called down. Even after the eaglets have hatched, their parents will keep them warm by sitting very close to them. Eagle parents are very protective of their babies and keep a close eye on their nest, even when they go out hunting. Juvenile eagles will start to leave their nest after about 8 to 14 weeks. And so we have that bolded word juvenile. And if we didn't know what that means like a child. It's not quite an adult yet. Flight. The bald eagle's body is perfectly designed for flying high in the sky. All of the bald eagle's bones together only weigh about half a pound, so he's super light. The bones are also hollow. That means that they're empty on the inside. Their broad wings are very powerful. Bald eagles use their wings to soar through the air without using much energy. This allows them to fly for a long time without flapping their wings. Eagles can reach speeds of about 30 miles per hour when flapping their wings. But when they dive down, they can go as fast as 100 miles an hour. So when they're in that diving motion, they go super fast. That's how they can catch their prey so easily. Eating habits. Bald eagles are fantastic hunters. They can spot fish from high in the sky and swoop down and snatch the fish out of the water with their sharp talons. So their talons are those claws that are on the end of their feet. They can even swim to catch a fish if they need to. Bald eagles also like to eat snakes, rodents, and other small animals. They will go after other birds such as swans, geese, and ducks. They use their beaks to rip their food apart and swallow their pieces. They have a pouch halfway between their mouth and stomach where they can store extra food. This is called a crop. A symbol. In 1782, the founding fathers chose the bald eagle as a national symbol. Bald eagles used to thrive in North America. That means that they were everywhere and lived very well there. But in early 1900s, people began hunting bald eagles and they almost became extinct. In the 1940s, they became protected in the United States. This means it's illegal to kill a bald eagle. Other threats to bald eagles include power lines, pesticides, and pollution. Bald eagles will usually live 30 to 35 years. Oh, and there's our glossary. So if we didn't know some of the words, we could say designed means created or planned. Juvenile means young, but not a baby. Pairs mean a set of two. Perch is to rest on something. And then the talon is like a foot of a bird that has those claws on it. All right, guys, I hope you learned lots of information about bald eagles, and I will see you later. Thanks for listening.